You can tell someone what to eat, and I can give someone an eat and do not eat list all day long. But then they're just stuck in a diet, and it needs to not be so black and white because this is real life.
You're listening to the Almost 30 podcast, a lifestyle podcast hosted by Krista Williams and Lindsey Simsick.
Tune in for a new episode every Tuesday to hear our honest conversations about topics like wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and self-development with guests who are really smart, really inspirational,
and really fucking funny. It's real, it's raw, and it's unfiltered.
Inspired by our transition from our 20s to our 30s, we realized it's so much more than that. Our mission is to provide you with the tools, guidance, and motivation to help you navigate any transitions in your life and propel your personal growth.
Thanks so much for tuning into the Almost 30 podcast.
Here we go.
Hey everyone. Hey guys. Welcome to the Almost 30 podcast. If it's your first time here, welcome. We are so happy you're here. You're coming at a great time.
Great time. We're on the road.
Great time. We're on the road.
Catch us while you can.
Catch us while you can. Catch us at the airport.
Literally. I can't believe. Okay, so we're on tour. The Almost 30 podcast summer tour. Yeah, we've just been like on planes.
We've just been in Ubers or planes.
Yeah. And I haven't felt clean once.
I haven't felt like my food game has been interesting since the start, since my trip with my family in Montreal and then this, it's been interesting. I have not been good at all, but I don't really give a fuck over it.
Well, it's just like when you travel, like I definitely, my body just knows that it's different and it will not digest the way it normally does.
Magnesium is so key.
Yeah. It's
like
the
traveling with magnesium is so key for digestion when you're traveling. And those digestive enzymes from Silver Fern.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Silver Fern brand, who's one of our sponsors we work with, I bring their digestive enzymes every time I travel, and it really helps with digesting food that I would normally eat.
Totally.
Love it.
Yeah.
15% off.
You have to take
almost 30.
You have to take it before you eat though. Which I always forget to do.
Sometimes I take it on an empty stomach.
That's what you're supposed to do.
No, and then I don't eat. And then I'm just digesting my brain. But it really helps.
Yeah, it does. But we had just such an incredible time in Toronto.
Thanks to our guide, Kayla.
Oh my God. Kayla, shout out
Too
Kayla
much.
McManus. Is that how you say her last name?
I don't know.
It's very Irish and she's so cute.
So cute.
So sweet. Such a go-getter. She
cool as fuck.
Yeah, so cool. And her friends were so cool.
Her friends were the best.
Shout out to Kayla's friends.
Yeah.
We had dinner with them after the event. Man, the girls that came out were the realest.
So fucking cool.
And just so open. Oh my God, the things they shared, they were just so, they got up with us. Like we and Krista and I were like up front and they came up and like spoke and shared. And it was just like really, really nice.
So nice. Like, everyone felt super safe. And
like, it was really intimate.
People met new friends.
Yeah.
It was fun too, because I feel like everyone felt like afterwards leaving that whatever they were talking about was possible. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. So we did a little workshop. We did a What's Stopping You workshop. And a lot of the girls had some incredible ideas and things they want to like bring into the world and like kind of mind-blowing stuff that I was like, wait, huh?
I know.
Like things that I could see. I could definitely see it
100%.
happening.
I'm like, this is happening for you.
Yeah. And they left feeling like they really could do it. Ugh, that is enough.
It was perfect.
It was so perfect. Thank you to Lululemon.
We love you guys.
Thank you to Lululemon for having us in their hustle space. Thank you to all of our sponsors, especially Hum Nutrition for the tour. I mean, they are OGs and thebomb.com. If you haven't tried Hum Nutrition, please try them. They're so amazing.
Yeah.
You can use our code almost 30. Just casual drop.
Marquee sponsor vibes.
Yeah, they're the best. And then we had our SoulCycle ride last night in Toronto, which was so fun. Thanks to Jenna for teaching and everyone who came out.
I haven't ridden Soul in so long. I was a little rusty.
Dying. So I can't teach in Canada.
It's fun that I don't care anymore though. I'm like, I don't really give a fuck to be on beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I used to be like, I'm going to hurt myself to stay on beat.
I was coming off of being sick and my body was like, this doesn't feel amazing.
Oh my God. Heather, one of our listeners, she's like, was Lindsey okay?
I had a moment.
She came up to me, she's like, I knew she was okay, but I just didn't know if she was okay.
I had a moment.
Like, dude, you hadn't really ridden like super hard since you were sick.
I'm gonna ride. Like I'm gonna actually ride because it's hard to fake it. And it kicked my ass.
Yeah, man.
It really kicked my ass.
Being up there's hard.
Yeah. I can't wait to teach tonight.
I know. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm excited for class tonight.
Yeah. I'm really pumped.
So we're in Chicago right now. We landed in Chicago, the Shy, my old home. We're at my friend Kristen's right now in her apartment, which is the best. And we have our Soul Cycle ride tonight. So this will be released after our Soul Cycle ride, but that one's sold out. It'll be really dope. We just made the playlist.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Stretch.
Do I have a seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do.
Good.
You do.
And then we have Chicago tomorrow. But anyways, enough about us, enough about everything that's going on. Let's get into this episode.
Yeah, this episode is such a good one. We are so lucky.
So lucky.
Oh my God.
Two cool babes.
To the studio. We had Kelly LeVeque and Simone from Body By Simone.
Simone's ass is fucking out of this world. Her body. I mean, Kelly too. Both
of them
out of this world.
So beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, man.
And obviously Kelly is one of our dear friends.
Hustlers too.
Hustlers.
I like that.
And I didn't know what to expect. Like Simone's like big time too. And I was just like I was a little nervous. And she was like the sweetest.
She was real grounded.
But like real grounded.
Real grounded. And then we just love having Kelly on. She just is like our ride or die. And we love that she just goes with the flow with our questions. Literally, we're talking about like something. And then I'm like, hey, what do you think about alcohol? Because I wanted to make sure that we answered some of the questions that you asked us in the secret Almost 30 Facebook group. We kind of go all over the place with these babes, but we talk. This is like a fitness and nutrition episode.
Yeah, they just came out with the new Body by Simone app, which has a nutrition component, which Kelly has created.
She has like a bunch of recipes. If you're vegan, right? Is it vegan, vegetarian?
That's a good question. Probably vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't know if it's vegan or vegetarian, but she has like just a bunch of recipes that are exclusive to the app, which is rad.
Yeah, it's a really good app. I've been doing it a lot. I really love it. Love Body by Simone. And so now if you don't have a Body by Simone near you, you can try it, which is so great. But yeah, we talk about all the things. And later in the episode, a surprise announcement from Kelly LeVeque. So stay tuned.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, stay tuned.
This made my day.
Yeah.
This made my motherfucking day, y'all. Oh, and there's another surprise announcement for our LA babes. July 25th.
Oh, yeah. Tell them.
July 25th, baby. We have an event with Kelly LeVeque and Charity Lighton of Silver Fern brand.
Are you fucking surprised that we're having an event?
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you guys want to jump off cliff?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. But our LA family was asking about our next event, and this one's going to be awesome. So it's with our friends from Sage Wellness. It'll be at the Sage Wellness on Abbot Kinney, our favorite space to host events. And then it is sponsored by our friends at Silver Fern brand. So Charity and Kelly at Silver Fern brand are good friends of ours. And we really love their products. We believe in their digestive enzymes. We use their endurance energy regularly. Their new protein powder is out of this world.
It's so good.
So we're really excited to have an event where Kelly's talking about health and nutrition, and then Charity is talking about digestive and gut health. So we will have Kelly talk for a little bit, Charity talk for a little bit, and then we'll do Q&A with them. So you can really dive deep into all things related to gut health and general nutrition.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
So excited. All right, guys.
Tickets are on our website.
Yes, on our website, always.
Can we read that one review before we go?
Oh, sure. Almost30podcast.com, by the way, is our website. So we just got the sweetest review.
Best.
Freaking teared up. They feel like your girlfriends, 5 stars. I have too many great things to say about this podcast. One,
Good start.
One, I listen to this on walks and in the car, and I feel like my best friends are with me. I crack up laughing and love learning about new things with them. 2, the impact of episodes like Genius Foods, Manifesting, and Relationships on my life is immeasurable. I always learn something new with these gals and their guests, and my life is better for it. 3, all of their sponsors are legit. I've bought 3 things so far because of Krista and Lindsey's suggestions, and they all rock. I'm talking to you, Four Sigmatic, Branch Basics, and BioClarity. So
promo
cute.
code almost 30.
Yeah. Number 4, this is the most important one. Krista and Lindsey are equally as kind, warm, funny, and awesome in person as they are on the podcast.
She forgot pretty.
I attended one of their LA events and was truly terrified it was going to be packed with typical LA stereotypes and no one would talk to me because I was alone. I was so wrong. All of the women there were amazing, especially our lovely hosts. They are the real deal, ladies. So you need to listen to the podcast and you need to go to one of their events. I'm so thankful for Almost 30 and its impact on my life so far, and I can't wait to keep listening. Amy from the United States. Amy, thank you, honey.
Amy, thank you, honey. Keep them coming, guys. Those are so kind.
Damn it.
If this has made any impact on your life, please let us know by writing a review. Please. Please let us know.
No, we're so grateful. Thank you, Amy. That really means a lot. All right, we're going to go cry. You guys go listen to this episode. With
Enjoy.
Kelly and Simone.
See you in the Facebook group. We love you.
Body by Simone.
Bye.
We're so good at interrupting each other today.
Oh, sorry. It's me.
Okay, great. I love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This episode is brought to you by Altera Pure. Super excited to have Altera as one of our newest sponsors. They didn't create this brand to make a ton of money. They started this company to make a ton of change, and they were inspired by their neighbors and friends who grew their own food and like made their own bread. And in the same way, they have made these textiles themselves from seed to sanctuary, and their extensive knowledge in textiles have allowed them to simplify the process but still give close attention to the design. It is such a thoughtful brand, and they are, doing their part in saving the world. They are committed to deliver a true and verified product. They are committed to sustainability, to fair trade with their partners, to the communities that build this product, and they partner and support industry organizations to further their knowledge and capabilities. I love white in my bedroom, and these sheets are just stunning and so comfortable. It usually takes about a wash or two, as you do with other sheets as well, but just to soften them up a little bit, just so you know when you order yours. But you can go to alterapure.com, ALTERRAPURE.com, and you can use our code ALMOST30 for 20% off your first order. They are so transparent about their process and want you to be comfortable purchasing these sheets, duvets, pillowcases. So they're open to any of your questions, which we love. I mean, just be honest, and the product will sell itself, truly. So again, Almost 30 is the code at alterapure.com for 20% off. Let us know if you get your sheets and what you're thinking about them. I love mine. This episode is also brought to you by Silver Fern brand. If you're not taking digestive enzymes and probiotics, hop to it. Okay? It has completely changed Krista and I's digestion, absorption of nutrients. It's really helped us. Rarely do we experience bloat anymore. I just love this brand because they care about the sustainability of the product. So a lot of probiotics and digestive enzymes do not survive all the way to your large intestines. This brand does, which we love. It's DNA verified and pharmaceutical grade, which, is important. I also love Silver Fern's Endurance Energy for a pre-workout. The term pre-workout scares me normally, but this brand has really increased my endurance and power steadily. So it's not this like, oh my God, I'm on a pre-workout. Holy shit, get me to the gym. It's very steady, lasts for a long time. And honestly, it also increases my mood. I mean, I can't lie about it. And finally, I'm really loving their newest plant-based organic protein powder with gut health boost. It is in rich chocolate, which is delicious. There's no artificial taste about it. This protein has digestive enzymes and probiotics, so you'll get maximum absorption, digestive comfort, and lean muscle growth, unlike anything you've experienced before. So you can go to silverfernbrand.com, silverfernbrand.com, and use our code ALMOST30, ALMOST30, for 15% off your first order. So that's silverfernbrand.com and use our code ALMOST30 for 15% off.
Everyone, we got to touch the crystal.
Oh yeah, this is lapis, so it'll open up our throat chakra.
I love that you guys did
and
it.
then we speak our truth.
We're gonna tell all your secrets.
And I programmed the crystal this
morning. Look at our manicures.
I know.
I feel like we have like squeaky high squirrel voices.
I know.
We know Lindsey doesn't.
Yeah, Lindsey's good.
Linz, your voice sounds normal.
Thank you. No, truly. The last time we recorded, I probably didn't have a voice.
That
was
You were like sexy 900 number.
That was back in the day. I struggle with vocal notes. I don't know, like teaching. Do you ever experience
Just
vocal
if I
stress?
get dehydrated, then I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah. So that was back in the day, but
Dang,
good now.
throwback.
I know.
Kelly, I have to tell you, it was so cute. I was with Justin's parents like a couple weeks ago. She's like, I'm doing this thing. She's like, I read this book and it's amazing. It's changed my life. I'm like, what is it? She's like, it's called Body Love. She's like, Kelly LeVeque has changed my life.
I just sent it to my mom.
I totes could have told you about that a long
literally,
time
I was
ago.
thinking, I could like text her for you if you want like a signed one.
This isn't a plug for my podcast, but I talked about that a long time ago.
I was like, I could send you the link if you want. It was so sweet. Like she's such a sweetheart. And she like,
I love the moms.
I just sent my mom for Mother's Day and she called me today. She's like, I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, I'm reading, I swear to God, this is actually true. It's weird that Justin's mom did that. She's like, I'm reading Body Love.
no.
She's like, well, I think that generation, it's really hard for them to like solve the day-to-day issues that they're having health-wise. It seems like too much to handle.
Yeah.
You know, because they're in their own routine. So, you know, something as simple as the Fab Four is like really can rock their world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. If you told my mom to have like avocado, she was like, like she's still low fat.
in a smoothie.
Literally, she'd be like,
Are you mad?
literally.
I know.
She like has a box of Special K. She's like, I can never do that.
She's like, I'm doing the commercial Special K diet.
yes.
I did that in college.
Same.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I did Slim Fast with the shakes.
Oh, that's
and the
good.
candles. 250 calories for breakfast.
How long have you guys been friends?
Yeah, like tell us your story of meeting.
We met at the Pally House Hotel. We were, I mean, I've known Simone way before that, but like Chalkboard Magazine, Suzanne,
she's so
invited
sweet.
us to like be on a panel. It was sort of about like travel and how you like get back on track or how you eat healthy when you travel or how you work out or like it's good for jet lag. And so we were both on the panel with a couple of other people. I actually don't remember who else was on that panel.
Just you and me.
I just like remember meeting Simone and we kind of just bonded there. Yeah. And we had some overlaps with, I mean, Simone brought me in for Revenge Body, some Revenge Body peeps under the radar.
Oh, no way. Love that.
Yeah. So
Cool.
We've had a couple of client overlaps and yeah, it's just easy. I think we're both pretty chill and we're grinders. So we're like,
Hustlers.
let's do this. How do we get
Truly.
it done?
Yeah. And now, yesterday, get it done yesterday.
Yeah.
You had the initial idea.
Oh no, it was all Simone. Like she had this like, I mean, you can tell them your idea of like having the app, but
Yeah, I wanted to reach as many people as possible, and obviously online world is the way to do it. There's so many fitness apps out there, and I really wanted to try and have something that was different, that's something that stood out, and nothing at the moment offers both fitness and nutrition or from, a qualified nutritionist. And so I was like, okay, who do I want to have? And it was like a no-brainer. I was like, of course it has to be this gorgeous woman next to me. So I asked her to jump on board, and she said yes. And then 15 months of hard work really to put it all together, but it's pretty exceptional. I'm pretty proud of it. It's only 1 month in, so we're just learning gradually. There's a lot of data to be examined because there's a part of it's artificial intelligence based on the people's feedback. And so we need like a couple of more months under our belt to really just now start to examine what that feedback is, what that data is, so that we can see, what content people actually want, which is brilliant because, you make all this content, you're like, are people actually reading that, or are people making that, or are people doing those squats, so it's actually being able to go back and see what people are doing. So it's going to be a work in progress for forever now. It's like, oh God, what have we got ourselves
Always
into?
evolving. I actually don't know your story, how you got into fitness. I would love for our listeners to learn more about that.
So I was a professional dancer on Broadway in New York, obviously, and then the West End in London and Australia prior to that. So I danced ever since I can remember, like from the age of 3. It was my passion. I've always loved it. And I've done like about 18 shows. And I got to a point, I remember I had an aha moment. I was in a Broadway dressing room with a group of like ensemble dancers, and everyone was bitching about, did you get this audition and so, and this show's coming up. And I was like, I am done with this. Like, it's time. I want to take the power. I want to create something that's mine. I want to be my own boss. So I think it's like a natural progression for dancers to do something with their body because we're so in touch with our inner movement. And so I wanted to do fitness, but I also wanted it to be dance related because that was my background. So I tried to create something that, for me, dance was always my therapy. It was an expression of creativity. And I wanted people who are intimidated by the word dance to learn or to have the experience of what dance feels like and not feel the pressure of, oh my goodness, like I'm not dancing like the person next to me, or I've got 2 left feet, or I'm going the wrong way. It's like really, not to worry about that, but to just have the joy of dance. But in the meantime, you look at dancers' bodies and you see, they're using their full body all of the time. So it's an incredible workout. So it kind of was like the two things meeting together. It's like you get to do the fitness side, you can see the results, and you have the joy and the beauty and the creativity of dance. So I started off, in New York 7 years ago. I got my first studio. And I literally cleaned the floors. I was the manager. I was the front desk girl. I would clean the toilets. I would train 7 hours a day. It was nuts. I had like a little blow-up bed in the office, and I would like pass out in there and then wake up the next day at 6 a.m. and start all over again.
Did you know you were in it? Like, did you have that vision, or was it just like a day by day kind of just working, chipping away at what you thought would be something bigger?
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, looking back now, I had no idea that I would be where I am now 7 years later. But at the time, I was just totally fueled by passion. And, there's something when you're on stage, it's very selfish. It's like, look at me. But being a trainer, it becomes so much about, giving to to the other person. It's therapy. You are a therapist, really. And so for me, I just wanted to help people. So that was my drive. And so every morning I just wanted to get up and do that. And I was like, if I'm coming from that pure place of passion, then everything else is just building outside of that. And it's like so cliche because people say to me, oh, you must have had a business plan, or did you have a business degree, or, and I'm like, no, I'm a little blonde dancer who can count to 8. But it was just the path that I, needed to be on, and it just felt right. And I remember still thinking about the first time I signed the lease for the New York studio. My hand was quivering. So I was like, how am I going to pay this rent? I was absolutely terrified. But you just do what you have to do, and you just work hard. And, that corny saying, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and also it's like, you just have to work, you have to hustle. So.
And so how long did you have that studio before you expanded, before you were like ready?
I think I had the New York one for 3 years. And then I obviously have a lot of celebrity clients, and they all live here in Los Angeles. So I was finding that they were flying me over constantly. I was coming over here to work with them on movies. and I wasn't spending a lot of time in New York. I was spending more time going back and forward. I thought there's such a need, to have a studio here in, in LA. So the idea was that I was just going to come over and open a studio, and then I'll move back to New York. But, when you be in the sunshine and palm trees every day, and life is easier, and you can actually get in your car and drive somewhere. It's like, oh, New York, you can stay there. I'll have someone else run it. And then, I had West Hollywood, and then I opened Brentwood.
Yeah, we need you on the West Side.
Yeah.
Did you always have, were you always like in your body?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is your really, like, I know as a dancer, there can be a lot of pressures in performing. So like, what has your evolution been, like your relationship with your body?
It's interesting. All I wanted to do was be a classical ballet dancer. That was my absolute dream. And obviously that can be a quite toxic world. There's a lot of eating disorders. You're weighed in every morning. You're measured constantly. So I auditioned for the Australian Ballet School. That was like you go to the ballet school and then you go into the company. And I was training like 8 hours a day as well as going to school. And I remember I got this audition and it was set. It was my time to go in. I walked in and it was like a meat market. They're like stand face front, stand face side, face back, face side, and thank you. And so you didn't even get to dance. Like I was dismissed on my body type without even being able to show my talent. And that was just like such a shattering moment at 15. It's like, what do you mean? I don't even get to show you what I do and you're saying my body type's not right. My shoulders are too square, my torso was too long, my legs were too short. And so I think that was another aha moment for me. I was like, okay, this is not, the ballet world is not for me, which is such a blessing now when I look back at it. I'm glad so many of my friends had eating disorders or injuries or, very short careers. I'm 43 and I still feel fabulous and still think I've got many years in me and in my body left. But it was a good moment to go, okay, I'm going to embrace the body that I have and try and teach other women to embrace the bodies that they have, because there's going to be a niche for you wherever that is. And there's something so powerful about a woman who's in her body, who owns it, who owns her strength, who owns her physique. So I think at 15, that was my first kind of, turning point. And then from there, I ended up doing musical theatre, which brought me so much joy. It was so fun and so entertaining. So I still got to dance, but it wasn't such the strict world of, classical ballet. And then obviously, and then moved into fitness after that.
Wow. How has your relationship between you and Kelly, has your idea of nutrition changed?
Yeah, I think we have very similar beliefs. And that's one of the other reasons why I was attracted, and wanted Kelly on board, because I think it's important to set realistic goals for people. And also don't tell them like, let's get some herb from, the Himalayas and crush it. And, who's doing that? Who one has the money to do that or the time to do that? Yeah. So let's say realistic things that people can actually grasp, hold of and do. So, I think I've always eaten well, but I have to say now I'm just a Fab 4 smoothie junkie. Like every day I get up and make my smoothies, and I have your book there, and I'm like, which one will I make today? And so that's really become a huge part of my life. I always say to people, like, when you can eat real food rather than, having a protein shake or a protein snack or, the bars. But I think with people trying to lose weight, it's really great to have like 2 meals and then a smoothie. Or for someone who's so active, you can't eat and digest a full meal. So a smoothie is perfect. So I just think Kelly is incredible. Her knowledge is just ridiculous. Like I just sit there and go, when I hear her talk, I'm like, what do you mean? What does that even word mean?
But you break it down in a way that like is super understandable and you can incorporate right away into your daily routine. And it's not too, I know what you mean though. The science starts to come out and like, okay, hold on. Let me like write down all the numbers.
Let me get the whiteboard.
But also that gives us like a clear why. Like Krista and I, like, it's hard for us to incorporate routines if we don't know why we're doing it,
Well, I found that's like kind of the theme amongst a lot of clients. And it was funny when I first met Simone, she was basically eating the Fab 4. She just, maybe hadn't realized that it was like part of my categories, but, or like the why. And so even just like sitting down with her Revenge Body clients or like any of the clients that I work with today, you can tell someone what to eat, and I can give someone an eat and do not eat list all day long. But then I'm just a diet, and they're just stuck in a diet, and they don't know why. And it needs to not be so black and white. There needs to be some gray area, because there's going to be a time when you want a cookie or some dairy or a glass of wine or a martini, and you need to know like, well, what's happening to me internally, and how can I either rebound from that or make the right choices when I do, and that's okay, because this is real life. Because I really think it's about like being active, whether that's dance and checking out our app, or however you move, and then eating clean, and then living life and enjoying it, right? I mean, there's such a balance that needs to be had. And so the categories, I think, are just helpful to help people create balance in their life, on their plate, and in their biology, like through their blood sugar. So
what do you guys, so the relationship between exercise and diet, can you guys talk about that? So, talking about that related to overtraining, related to how much you can consume if you're working out, twice a day, once a day, or whatever. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on finding a balance with your food and then exercise?
Well, I would say food first and foremost. We can start with protein, for example, because it's the first, category of the Fab Four. And I see drastic variations in people's protein consumption. If I have someone who's raw vegan, that might be, 40 grams of protein a day. And the government's going to tell you that should be the minimum, just to like maintain muscle mass and energy. And then if you go to bodybuilding.com, it might say you should have, 2 grams per pound of body mass. For someone like me, if that's like 250 grams of protein, no way. I'd be eating like 14 chickens by the end of the day. Like, that's a lot of protein, Yeah. So I think there are variations in like what people need when it comes to protein. But I would say, a good rule of thumb there would be somewhere between like 0.4 and 0.5 grams per pound of body mass. And then if you're like a CrossFit crazy weightlifting, Olympic weightlifter, maybe you're pushing towards like 0.75 or 0.8. But, I think simply like looking at each of your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, what's like 4 to 6 ounces of protein, 20 to 30 grams, perfect. Like that's going to get you what you need to recover. I think there's like was a really big push back in the day that people needed all this protein, and we don't need as much as we thought. But you need like a little bit of a balance. And that's where it comes down to like your bio-individuality. So like Simone just said, maybe she's not going to sit down to a 4-egg omelet before she goes and jumps around on a trampoline. There's going to be scrambled eggs on the floor. You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to know your body, and do you have a hard time digesting protein? And maybe you do a fasted workout, which is, by the way, is great for body comp, and then you fuel up after. And then if that's a real meal and you kind of start to understand like how long does it take your body to digest protein, and you should be feeling fine within like 90 minutes to 2 hours and not tasting your food. And if you are, then maybe I sit down with a client and say like, hey, can we get you some digestive enzymes or some hydrochloric acid, or there might be some stress that you're having that's affecting your digestion. That's, again, bio-individuality is just kind of like listening to yourself instead of relying on the internet or a blog or something to tell you like, no, I need to be hitting these macro numbers. Because I think the whole idea of macros are, I just have clients that come to me that have met with someone and they're like, I'm supposed to be meeting this number of grams a day. And I'm like, whoa, how about we just take a breather, listen to our body, and like eat to feel full, and just understand the things that make us feel that way. So
love that. For the bio-individuality piece, do you recommend any tests? Any tests that you love?
Yeah, you can do like Cyrex food allergy tests that would tell you what you might be allergic to. Some people are allergic to proteins and dairy, like whey and casein. Some people are allergic to eggs. Generally, I don't really have anyone who is allergic to red meat, fish, or chicken. Shellfish comes up. But, that's really more of like a personal choice if someone's deciding to be plant-based. But I actually, I think I'm going to do a plug here because I've just had a lot of people watch What the Health and all of these Netflix documentaries, Forks Over Knives, you name it. And I just have to say, like, a lot of these documentaries are based on a producer or an investor's opinion about something and finding data to support it. Do I think industrially raised proteins in the United States are healthy. Like, no, I don't think that the use of all of our water to make wheat and corn is like great for the environment. And I don't think industrial feedlots are either. But if you're interested in like how the world works and you think about places like New Zealand or Australia where they have pasture raised animals, little Australia plug for my little Australia, where they have pasture raised animals that literally are eating the grasses and they're basically keeping all of that grass at a good height and then sort of like defecating there and building up the soil full of minerals, and that's increasing the nutrition in those plants. And then like the pasture-raised animals are healthier because of it. The other plants growing on that land are healthier because of it. Like this is the way the world stays healthy. And so a great documentary to watch would be The Magic Pill.
Oh yeah, I just started that one.
That's a phenomenal one. And that kind of gives you an idea of like, what happened years before we decided to industrialize? So, back to the testing, I would say food allergy testing. If you have a hard time digesting your food, you might want to do a stomach acid test to find out if you have low acid. So a lot of people who have acid reflux actually have most of the time either a food allergy or low acid. And because you need a certain low pH level to kind of seal off the sphincter between your stomach and your esophagus. So if it gets low enough, that little flap closes really tightly and you have no acid that comes back up your throat. But if you're stressed out and your acid production is low, we can have acid reflux, but it's really not acid reflux. It's just an inability to create enough digestive juices to have that really tight closure.
And then on the piece of, so we talked about like what to eat to work, when to work out and stuff. How many more calories? Like I know we're not really like a calorie counting group here, but how much more can women be eating, when they're taking your classes or they're working out 6 days a week? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I will say there is something to be said about people who are really restricting the calories they eat. Yeah. I think, one of the things that I'm known for doing is increasing someone's fat intake to increase their, to make sure that they're not at a calorie deficit, to make sure that they're requiring their body to metabolize more fuel. And fat's a really easy way to do that because fat doesn't release insulin. And insulin is the hormone that blocks fat burning. So we can up our caloric load without blocking fat burning. And then all of a sudden you're challenging your body to, not only in your workout classes, but you're challenging your body metabolically to say like, no, you're not going to get to a place where we're eating 700 or 800 or 1,000 calories a day. Like you want to fuel and then you want to train. And then that training, depending on what you do, would give you more flexibility in your diet.
Love that. And the exercise piece, what would you say, because especially in LA, people are loving any type of workout that's different, that's trendy. And so I think the lines are blurred sometimes, like we were saying, kind of like overworking out. So what do you recommend specifically with Body by Simone? Like how many times a week, but also how to properly rest and recover?
So even like with, some of our celebrity clients who are working towards films, the most I'll really get them to work out is an hour a day. They might then have to go and do like fight training or something else, but you should be able to get in your workout in an hour. You don't need to do 2 and 3 hours and 4 hours and all of this badness. So I think that's really, important to know that if you just work at your full potential, you can get an incredible workout in an hour. I think the other thing I say to every client is 80% diet, 20% exercise. So people, especially women, are like, oh, well, I did 2 classes back to back today, so I can go and have that muffin, or I can go and have that piece of pizza, or I'll go home and have a couple glasses of wine because I deserve it. So it's like you can't reward yourself because you've done that exercise, and then it's basically canceling it out as well. So it's really trying to teach people not to eat by, oh, what do I feel like today? But thinking about eating to fuel your body, especially when you're working out. Like think about, putting gas in the car so that it can drive.
Such a game changer. I worked with Kelly, and just in terms of like Soul Cycle and recovery and how I fueled my body before and after workouts, like I just felt like a different person.
So what was going on and what did you do?
So normally when I would wake up in the morning, I would crave something sweet. So I would turn to fruit right away before I would teach early in the morning. And because I just kind of wanted to wake up, I needed like that little kick of whether it was an apple or banana to wake me up. And now I'm either doing a fasted workout, like teaching, or I'm eating like an avocado, just keeping to those healthy fats. And I'm satiated until at least mid-morning, when I'll either do a smoothie or eggs with avocado and either turkey bacon or something like that, like a protein, because I wasn't eating a lot of animal protein, which wasn't making me feel great.
Yeah. Well, I think for someone who trains as hard as you, it really, animal protein is a great source of B12. It's a great source of vitamin D. It's a great source of iron. Iron is what carries oxygen and nutrients to your cells. So when you talk about recovery, you need all of that. And it's a different type of iron that's in kale. So a lot of times you just see people like on the internet will say, oh, a pound of, a couple cups of kale is better than like 4 ounces of steak. And it, fine if we're just categorizing iron in general, but we're talking about different types of iron, and like knowing that biology or knowing that how those things are different, like heme iron really translates to the iron in your body that can really fuel your cells. So recovery is super important when for both Simone and Lindsey, like you guys are training people. You're working out. Not only are you working out to like hold the energy of the room and the space, but you're doing it multiple times a day. So I would say it takes a lot more work in a vegan and vegetarian space. It's totally doable to fuel people the right way if they're training that much, but it's just a little bit harder.
Yeah. I also incorporated more supplements. So I was like deficient in vitamin D. So we did a vitamin D with, I think, was it fish oil?
Omega-3 vitamin D.
Yeah. Which has been really great. Because I noticed like my mood has changed a little bit. Just no one would probably notice, but I notice it.
Yeah.
So that's really helped.
I notice it.
Do you? Do you, sister?
If anyone notices, I notice it. I can feel it. Thanks, Kelly.
No problem.
Rough couple months. But relationships have seasons. So.
Just reason and a season. I'm about to be done.
So for your workout, Body by Simone, like why do you think that it's the best workout? I want to talk about like different types of workouts for different bodies, and especially for women, like what workouts are good for them? What types of training should they be doing if they want to look like long and lean?
So obviously there's two parts to my business. There's the group classes, where you're going to get like 4 or 5 different varieties of class. And then the private one-on-one training where it's really catered to whatever that client needs. So yes, I'm known for dance cardio, but if I have a client that comes in and doesn't like to dance, I'm not going to make them dance. So we will, look at other ways of doing cardio, whether that's through jump rope, using your own body weight, explosive movement, plyometrics, the trampoline. And then the classes, you have the upper body, lower body, full body, the dance cardio, and the trampoline. And I think, to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say my workout's the best and you should only do this and it's going to give you the best body, because it's just you just got to exercise. Like as a trainer, I just want people to exercise. So if that's cycling for you, do it. If it's swimming, do it. If it's dance, do it. You really have to find whatever connects with you and whatever you like motivates you. So I think, I just encourage people to work out. But my method, it's fun. It's always mixing different exercises up, challenging the body, challenging the brain. The one thing that I do love and I do like to promote about dance is that it's making you present in a workout.
That's why I like it.
Yeah. So, like sometimes, if I'm on a bike or a treadmill, I can go off into a meditative state and start thinking about what I'm going to cook for lunch or what I'm going to do. Where with dance, if you think about a cup of tea for a second, you're absolutely screwed because you've already missed the next step and you've stood on someone, you're going the wrong way. So the beauty about it is that it keeps you 100% present. It's making you use your brain to learn choreography. So I don't know about you ladies, but I'm like, my memory has never been amazing. So it's like, it's so good to actually challenge yourself to try and remember the dances, coordination, and the other thing is that it requires your full body. So obviously, dances, the strength comes from the core and the limbs move outside of that. So I think it's already beautiful that really focus on core strength. But yeah, you require your full body for it. So there's so many studies at the moment saying, it's helping like early onset dementia, a lot of old people's homes, we call them in Australia, but, they're trying to get people to learn to dance, the elderly to dance, and it stops the aging process, but I think it's just because it's fun. And then the trampoline is another really fun thing as
what
well.
What are the benefits for that? I love that class.
Yeah.
Chloe and I took it last year.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah, the teacher was a listener.
Yeah,
she stopped me after class. She's like, I was dying. Her name's Lauren. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
I was dying that you were in my class. I was like, and you're like, I was good on the tramp as you would have thought I was going to be.
It's so challenging because you have to like engage in your core not to fall off.
Yeah.
And people are intimidated by it. But I have to say in like the 7 years that I've had the class, I've never seen anyone fall off. So, but it's a wonderful way.
Let me be the first.
But there will be no.
I literally just pictured myself being the
Just like,
person falling off.
It's crazy. You have to like literally push your legs down.
Yeah, well, it's different. When you're a kid, you used to like jump because you're
Yes.
trying to get elevation, right? So you'd be like, wee. But this is opposite. Like it's called a rebounder because you're supposed to rebound into it. So you're supposed to, I always say to people the visualization of like a tray of cookies or martinis or whatever your poison is on your head, and you don't want that to spill. So you want to try and stay grounded into the trampoline. But it's I used it a lot for our revenge body contestants because if you do have people who are, with excess weight, they're trying to lose the weight and they have issues with their joints, it's a wonderful low impact, cardio. So you can get the heart rate up, they can burn calories, they can, burn fat, but still protecting their knees, their hips, and their lower back. And then it's just childlike. It's fun and joyous. There's something that you can't help but smile when you're on it. Drains the lymphatic glands. Like there's a lot of,
So what are your
medical
lymphatic
benefits.
glands doing? Like, why is it good to drain them, guys?
So your lymphatic system is a system of glands, and they basically are all over your body. So when you get sick, like have a sore throat, you can feel them in your throat. But it's the only system without a pump. So it's actually the fluid only moves, and it's called, through interstitial fluid and through your lymph fluid through your glands if you are moving. So like there are certain times when people are a little more stagnant and they can have buildup. And when you think about the toxins in your body, they're being neutralized by your immune system and they're being funneled to these glands. And then there are places like right by your clavicle where it'll drop in to really be excreted. Like it's going to drop in and kind of find its way to your organs, like either your intestines or your kidneys, and your body is going to get rid of that stuff. But think about it. Sorry.
No,
It's like the doing.
it's our call to prayer.
Yeah, basically. But like if you don't move, you can't move that fluid.
Wow.
And so, you see people who are active and they look younger and they like are able to deal with the toxins that they're ingesting. It's really because of movement. And so just like to piggyback a little bit off of Simone not being as humble as she always is about her workout not being the best.
I know.
I will give a little bit of a plug because, I think when I work with clients, I'll see that I either have someone who's super into weightlifting and they're like an HIIT training junkie where they're, at least HIIT training is sort of getting them on a treadmill and lifting weights, but like they're either a gym person and they like to lift weights or they love cardio and junkie, all they do is go to SoulCycle.
It makes me so... I probably promote other workouts more than I do SoulCycle, to be honest with you. It's bad.
I really hope your bosses are listening right now.
But it's not because I'm not promoting SoulCycle.
Well, they're already there.
They're in the room. Yeah. And I usually always say, like, take this week, you've, come to Soul a few times, but like you have to balance.
Yeah.
Whether it's yoga, weight training, a Body by Simone type class where it's more freedom of the movement, not just stationary on a bike. Like you cannot take 5 classes in a row.
Yeah. No.
In one day.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. The simplest way to think about like cardio versus strength is, cardio, if your muscles are a place to store sugar, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have 3 tanks. Like you have your liver, then you have your muscles. If you fill up your liver tank and you fill up your muscle tanks, then where do the carbs go? They store as fat. We talked about this on multiple other things. So you think about that tank and it's like carbo loading into your muscles. When you just do cardio, it's like dumping that tank, that muscle tank. But when you do strength and when you're sore and when Simone's like, hey, pick up your weights and we're going to use these weights and we're going to do some abs and we're going to like, your legs are shaking and you leave sore. And when you're actually sore after, that strength training means that you've torn up muscles and you've increased the space or the strength of that tank. And so you can't just always be dumping your tanks of like cardio is fine, but like the minute that workout is over, the only thing that, you know, that you've burned is whatever stored sugar is in that muscle versus strength training when you do the dance class or the tramp class and you're actually sore and you go to sit on the toilet or in a chair and you can barely sit down.
Yeah.
Like there is something to be said about that because you're strengthening that tank and you're making more space for more sugar. And so excessive post-oxygen consumption and the actual afterburn of that class is longer than just a cardio. So that's my only problem with like cardio junkies who never do anything that increases the strength of their muscle tanks. Because it's like we want to keep those muscles really insulin sensitive. We want to have as much space as humanly possible so you can have your cake and eat it too. And it also gives you more energy. Like keeping those muscles strong and lean on your body is your metabolism. And you got to keep it revving.
So does that kind of explain if someone does too much, like an excess of a cardio, that's why they're holding on to a little bit of, not a lot, just like a little bit of body fat, like in the like a gut area type body fat?
Yeah, like have you ever been cheering for people who run marathons and you're on the sideline and you just watch and I'm kind of like, okay, look, like they just basically put some sugar in their body and it goes into their muscles and they run. And then the minute they feel low on energy, they take one of those gels and they put it in their mouth.
Those are nasty.
They're constantly fueling with carbohydrates, but their muscles aren't big enough to deal with it or they're not getting this afterburn. They're only getting, the only people you see with like long runner bodies are the people who are literally, with cardio, you have to be so much more consistent all the time than if you're getting a workout that makes you sore. Like if you've just started with like Body by Simone and the app or going to the class or whatever, and you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's making you sore enough to not work out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you're still getting something out of it, like that's a really good sign because you're still burning versus cardio. You just have to be so consistent just to maintain and you're not getting that extra burn.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, basically any cardio junkie who overdoes the carbohydrates is going to store excess sugar as belly fat.
Yeah. Wow. We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from our sponsor, Four Sigmatic. I just got my new mushroom lemonade with charcoal and chaga in the mail yesterday. This is a cold drink mix, which is really exciting. I don't think I have tried a cold drink mix from Four Sigmatic. But if you're curious about exploring the everyday magic of mushrooms, this is your brand. You know it's a hot thing now, this mushroom thing. And Four Sigmatic is at the forefront. And they do it right. These elixirs are super easy to mix in water or your favorite nut milk, which I like. Or maybe some of you are still doing dairy, so maybe that. Sorry, that sounded weird. And I still love you if you do dairy. I just can't. But Four Sigmatic is truly redefining the way we do wellness through elixirs. And it has truly gotten me off my coffee habit. They do have coffee mixes, which help kind of wean you off. It's not as much coffee as you would normally have. But then also their mixes like the lion's mane or the cordyceps is a beautiful alternative and truly gives me the energy, the focus that I need without the jitters. Okay. I was realizing that my coffee was causing anxiety. Raise your hand if you relate. Okay. Yep. So you can go to foursigmatic.com/almost30. They will take the discount at checkout. It is 15% off your first order. We're so excited to keep sharing this brand with you. They are an OG sponsor. We love them so much. And we were recently their first Shroom Stars. So you can catch us on their Instagram. Check out that post, like it up. And we shared our favorite mixes. Mine is the mushroom hot cacao mix that I like love before bed. It's like my little secret sauce. And Krista loves their new golden latte mushroom mix. So good. It has shiitake and turmeric. And it's part of our routine, period, the end. Sorry, I know we talk about it a lot, but it's true. So you can go again to foursigmatic.com/almost30. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/almost30. And you will get 15% off at the checkout. Come on, guys. Let us know what you get. We want to know. We're very nosy. This episode is also brought to you by
Scentbird. Okay, so to be fully transparent, I don't really wear perfume on a regular basis. So I need something to make this process of like smelling good easy for me.
I know.
Because normally I just lean on my deodorant, to be honest with you. I only do it for dates. That's it.
Oh, but now that I have my little Scentbird like sprays in my purse,
So
I
easy.
have it all the time. And I've been I went to an event last night. I sprayed on perfume. I felt like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
And I have these great scents that I would have never normally bought on their own. So Scentbird has provided an easy way for me to throw these scents in my purse, like designer perfumes in my purse, have them, and then wear them out to events and just feel good about myself.
Yeah, it's a luxury fragrance subscription service, and you get to choose a new scent every month. There's over 450 designer brands like Prada, Gucci, Kate Spade, Nest, and more. You choose your fragrance, get a new scent each month, and you get it in this sleek travel spray that Krista was mentioning that lasts for 30 days or more. For me, it lasts a little bit more. But yeah, we just love them. It's so easy. It's so easy. And for our listeners, you can try this out. Okay, so listen up. You can go to scentbird.com, scentbird.com/almost30 and use our code almost30 for, get this, 50% off your first month. So basically that's only $7.50 for your first month.
Dang.
And free shipping. Come on.
Get some really nice scents and just like sex it up, ladies.
Yeah, it makes it easy. I'm not about making things hard to like look better or smell better. Just make it easy for me and I'll do it.
Yep.
So scentbird.com /almost30 and you can use our code almost30 for 50% off your first month. Do it now. Love ya.
What happens if you're sore and your muscles are kind of tearing and then you work them out again and you don't give them time to recover?
Well, there is something to be said about overtraining. What I think is different about like something like a Body by Simone versus like a CrossFit is if someone's doing Olympic weightlifting and they have sort of like, I want to explain this, but they can't see me.
She's got some dumbbells.
Yeah. So if you have dumbbells, and you're doing bicep curls and you're starting from a 45-degree angle and you're closing your arms, there's a very short distance. And so you can build up short, bulky muscles versus if you're elongating all the way and straightening your arm all the way out from your shoulder all the way to your wrist, then you get the full length of that muscle and you can rip and tear without being bulky, which is sort of the benefit of, a Body by Simone class is because you're doing full range of movement, and that's what dancers do, and that's what you see in Pilates, and that's what you see in yoga, and that's why those bodies look longer and leaner than someone who grabs dumbbells and they're like, oh, I'm going to start lifting heavier, and it's good to lift heavier, but like, can you lift heavy in full range of motion versus are you lifting heavy? You pick up the 25-pound weights and you go from, I guess this is a 90-degree angle. Yeah. Right. Like a 90-degree angle to completely closed. Yeah. Thanks. Everyone looked at me funny when I said 45. And I'm like, guys, I am not the trainer here. Will someone help? But you understand like a short distance versus a full long distance. So like there is some benefit of picking a workout that is challenging your muscles, but in the full range of motion. And you get that with dance.
Love that. So I'm obsessed with the resistance bands. Yeah. Because there's that like eccentric and concentric contraction that you're getting from those. So it's like working the muscle both ways. And like so it's a full range of motion. And they're so easy to pack. You can take them with you.
Yeah.
But you can really like get a full body workout with them. They're great.
Yeah. And if you don't have bands, there's, and you download the app, there's like a full package for travel, like of bands that you can get to like take to your
Yeah,
hotel
I
room.
want to talk about the app. So what can people expect when they buy the app, and what kind of extra things that they can explore within the app day to day?
So the app, the idea of it was that you would have Kelly and I in your pocket. So you would have your trainer and your nutritionist with you at all times. So you set your objectives when you sign into the app, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, whether you want to trim, which is lose weight, or tone, which is strengthen. You choose whether you want to do HIIT cardio, dance cardio, or both. And then you can choose like the days of the week that you want to work out. Now, based on that information, like as you would if you came to me in the studio for a private session, the app then gives you your recommended workout. So it would be like me inside the app saying, okay, Lindsey, this is what you're going to do today. And it seamlessly gives you your workout with a warm up and a cool down.
Wow.
So that's one really cool aspect about it. It's like you have your own personal trainer with you. So I'm telling you, this is what I would recommend for you to do based on your objectives. The beauty about this is, you know, we all have a favorite muscle group, right? A body part that we love on our bodies. Like I could do abs for days. Like I could just do abs all day, every day. But then I don't want to do butt, or I don't want to do arms. So on other apps, you could, just skip that. I'll just skip those, or just look down on the library videos and just do the ones that I want to do. But these recommended workouts are me telling you, I know you don't like butt, but I'm going to make you do butt. So you have to do it. That. And then you get through the workout and you have to rate it. And based on the rating, it will then give you the next recommended workout for the next day based on, on your feedback. Another cool aspect is there's a customized workout. So if you do want to just do 10 minutes, that's all you've got time for, which is another thing that I always like to stress. Just, 10 minutes is fine. If you've got 10 minutes, do 10 minutes. Like don't say, I won't work out today because I don't have time. 10 minutes is better than nothing. But then you can choose the muscle group of the body part that you want to work out for that 10 minutes, once again with a warm up and cool down. And then the other part of the app, which I think is going to end up being the most loved part of the app, the most used, is the live classes. So right now, every Saturday, you can join me in the West Hollywood studio and do a 55-minute live class with me.
Cool.
Literally like
That's the coolest thing ever.
Like you're there. Yeah. And then, then we'll have one from New York and one from LA and one from London and all the other studios that we have all over the world will come in the time zone. And, right now we're just doing dance cardio, and I think I've added a couple of full bodies. But that's all in there. And then you can track your progress. So there's like selfies where you can do photo comparison. You slide side to side, measurements. Eventually there'll be like a community where you can start to compare, and like you can post on Instagram your Body by Simone day 1, and then where you are week 14. But then obviously then there's the nutrition side of it, which I'll let Kelly explain.
Yeah. So the nutrition, you can make the choice to protein-based versus plant protein-based, depending on your lifestyle. So think like paleo, Whole30 versus like vegan, vegetarian. And then once you make that choice, or you can be both, which I think is really interesting because most people are like, you're either vegan or vegetarian or you're plant-based. And when you do both, it's going to give you a mix, but every single one of those meals is Fab 4. And so it's actually, people ask me all the time, I'm vegan and vegetarian, how do I do the Fab 4? Well, it's really easy with the smoothies because you just pick a pea or plant-based protein. But when you start to get into like lunch and dinner, they're like, well, what is considered like a Fab 4 protein? And so you start to see those recipes pop up. And this is the first place that I've actually given vegetarian or vegan recommendations. Wow. So if there are people that are plant-based out there, this is a great way to kind of see how I make those recommendations for clients. We lean a little bit fat heavier for those clients. Maybe they're using half an avocado. Maybe they're thinking about getting like a cashew cream sauce or a pesto on something. And the same goes. Half your plate should be veggies no matter what side of the coin you're on. And in the app, you're going to get a breakfast, a lunch, a snack, and a dinner every single day. And so, a lot of content.
Come on.
Yeah.
Basically like aggregating all of like 5 or 6 years worth of, because I'm not a chef, but like I've made recipes over the years that follow the Fab 4, and I'm constantly trying to like hone my skills in that. But everything's like quick and easy to make for the most part. That's one thing that I like to pride myself on, is it shouldn't be this isn't a 45-minute casserole that you're making.
Yeah.
Right.
Because most of us don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to get a 45-minute workout in or a 55-minute live class in. And then we're trying to like keep it clean.
Mhm.
So
What's your favorite recipe on there? Or what's a favorite recipe that you can share with our girls?
yeah. Well, I mean, you guys know that I am so in love with my spa smoothie. So that's in there, obviously. But there's actually been some new recipes added. So I did a zoodle shrimp scampi that's in there. I'm like,
Cool.
that's done in
Delicious.
less than
But I
like,
saw that the other day.
yeah. So I
Looks
did post
so
that on my
good.
Instagram. It's done in like less than 10 minutes because shrimp is 2 minutes a side. And like if you have a handheld zoodler, which is $6 from Amazon, I just rinse a zucchini and like you just screw it through the little handheld thing. There's not like a big machine you set up. It's, a very small
Really?
little
It's the best.
tool that you can throw in a drawer. And you just like add those to the pan, give it a stir, pour it on a plate. Protein, fat, fiber, olive oil, garlic, red
olive
pepper
oil, garlic.
flakes. If someone does dairy, a little bit of grass-fed butter or ghee.
I'm so hungry right
I know,
now.
same.
Sorry.
Also, like, what's on it?
We've also put Kelly and Simone in a hot box right now.
Yeah.
So, as you know, our studio gets a little warm when the
Yeah.
air conditioning
Keep it
isn't
warm.
running.
Thermogenesis.
So-
all
Yes.
burning all of
This
these
is
cups.
It's actually
a red
infrared.
sauna. Yeah, it's an infrared sauna.
I wanted to ask you about what happens when you drink alcohol to your body. And this is a little bit different, but
Yeah, totally. Is this a personal question?
our girls asked it in the group.
So when you drink alcohol, it's metabolized in your liver. The metabolism of alcohol creates free radicals that are aldehyde. So basically like formaldehyde. These are toxins that our body needs to neutralize with with antioxidants. And they don't make us feel great. So there are specific things inside of alcohol other than alcohol, toxins like conjugars, which can increase your hangover and make you feel even worse. Conjugars are non-existent in vodka. They're clear vodka or clear alcohols don't have as much conjugars as say like a dark, I don't even know, someone
Like a
rum.
like a dark rum
like
or a whiskey.
Jack Daniels or something like that. The darker you go, the higher something is in conjugars. So that's something that your body has to deal with as well. And when it comes to different types of alcohol, like wine, you might have more fructose, which also needs to be metabolized in the liver. But when you think about metabolism of anything in the liver, whether it's fructose or alcohol, there's only a certain amount of it that can stay in the liver. And unfortunately, if it doesn't fit in the liver, your body starts it goes through a process to create lipolysis, which is creation of new fat cells. That's sort of why, if I have a client who's worried about body composition but they really want to drink alcohol, I would say like, can we keep it to 1 or 2? And can you maybe stick to like a Blanco tequila or a clear, high quality vodka? When the more distilled it is, the more you're removing byproducts and toxins. So yeah, and it's a little bit dehydrating. And what happens when your body metabolizes alcohol is your liver has to give away a lot of vitamins like vitamin C. So you have the depletion of vitamins. So whenever you look at the hangover stuff, hangover pills, you're going to see that they're just pretty much like a bunch of vitamins. And those are the vitamins that, for the most part, your liver is donating to deal with the metabolism of alcohol.
Wow.
And what did you recommend for those that love wine? I know.
There's just like lower fructose options. So if you like wine, if you're a wino, if you will, I would hit up the organic section of Whole Foods or Erewhon, or if you're a Trader Joe's junkie, they all kind of have a little section where they have like organic wines, and they might say like no sulfites added, organic. A couple brands that I really like at Whole Foods are Fry and Bonaterra. They're organic. They're not adding fructose. They're not adding sulfites. They're using traditional winemaking techniques to make their wines. If you're a super big wino and it's like a really serious situation that we're dealing with, then I might say like join the wine club Dry Farm Wines, because those are, especially if they really care about the way their wine tastes, because that's going to source wine from traditional winemakers all over the world. So Spain, France, and that's 100% organic, no fructose added, no sulfites added, and no pesticides.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Good to
If
know.
you're at Trader Joe's, this company is called, the company or the bottle I buy is called Well Red. And it's spelled like READ. And there's like, I think a person reading a book on the front or something like that.
Right. Let me take that note.
So Chloe just stepped in. Chloe Money just stepped in.
Hi.
Lindsay went
It's been a while.
literally.
Yeah.
Since Squarespace ads.
Yeah. Oh my. That was fun.
Lindsay went to Soul Legend. So we're just going to keep on going with the ladies. But Chloe Money was basically the impetus because we know that our girls love Kelly. But we also wanted to meet Simone because I've taken a lot of the classes at Body by Simone.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a question for you, Simone. Workouts for your butt. I feel like butts are so popular right now. Like, what's a good booty workout?
I mean, honestly, the good old fashioned squat, there's nothing better than that.
Air squats or?
I mean, you can get fancy and do the jump squats. Obviously, that's going to get your heart rate up, but just literally, or the ball, like the wall set is just a great way with have 10 pounds on each hand, have the ball in the middle of your back, slide down like you're going to sit down, just static hold, quads, hamstring, glutes on fire, and then hold for 5 seconds, come up, squeeze your glutes to the top of your range and hold and back down again. There's so many different exercises you can do. I think the squat is it's basic, it's simple, you can do it anywhere, it's effective, obviously the weighted squat. But I we add in ankle weights and do Jane Fonda-esque inspired, booty lifts. The trouble is I see so many people doing these now, it's on every fitness magazine and every video, and you just have to make sure that you're using the correct form. People tilting their pelvis or using the momentum and swinging their legs up. It's the point is you're supposed to fire from your glutes and from your hamstrings, and that's what lifts your legs. So I really say to people, really, get a mirror in your house. If you're working out at home, have a mirror so you can see your form, because often you think you're doing something correctly and then you look and you're like, nope, that's not it.
Actually, going off that, I was noticing it, and I was a dancer for 8 years, and that's why I really love your class.
Thank you.
And you were in the front row.
It's like trampoline. It's I'm so addicted to the trampoline.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I literally, it's my release for the day. I'm I will listen to whatever they play and just be a freak for 60 minutes and not care. I'm sorry, I'm here. But I had a question about form. So in terms of a lot of different types of workouts do this. So this kind of can be just applicable to a lot of things. So in terms of bar and a lot of the moves that you do in terms of strengthening, not so much cardio, but people really get into their hips and get into their upper body. And I do that. And I read an article about it. So that's why it kind of caught my attention. I'm wow, I am really doing that. Because people, like you said, dancers, it comes from your core and your limbs just kind of move with it. So I just have a question about why, how can you spot that and how can you improve that? I mean, ultimately you said mirrors, but especially in classes, how can you catch yourself when you know you're doing that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the positions are what I call tabletop positions. So your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. So just starting off with the perfect alignment is really important as well. Often people, their hands are too far away, they've got no support there, so then they're putting strain in the neck. Their knees are further back, so then they're tilting their pelvis, they've got pain in their lower back. So it's really trying to get that form first correctly, and then drawing the navel towards the spine. I always say, yes, your navel's having a love affair with your spine and it wants to kiss it and it wants to come close to it. I think, as we get tired, we're not focusing on our form, your belly's that's the first thing that's going to go, or you're going to slouch into your shoulders and then you're going to have neck pain. So I think it's constantly just being on top of that, obviously having a great teacher or a great trainer who's going to point out to you that, you need to correct your form, looking at the mirrors, and then just taking some time out and taking a break. If you feel you're getting fatigued, okay, stop, roll out your shoulders, roll out your wrists, and then go back into it again. There's no medal for someone who goes all the way through but has terrible form. So just,
I think
stopping's okay.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've seen. I think I have a problem. It's almost ego because you want to keep going and but then your form gets bad and you're I'm still got to go, but I have a problem with that. And I think that's a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about group classes, isn't it? You want to keep up with the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, if you have the time, sometimes like the one-on-one private training is really great because it's teaching you the tools that then you can then take into class and be like, oh, Simone told me to pull back from my lats, pull my shoulders down, elongate my neck, soften my knees so I'm not locking my knees. Just simple little things like that you can really work on, the correct kinetic chain, focusing on those things. And then you can take that into class and self-correct.
Love it. You
guys, so, you guys, when you guys first met, you kind of knew, like, you were like, okay, this girl's cool. Like, we get along, you get on, like, when you meet someone that's cool. And you guys talked about, and you guys both are, everyone knows you as being hustlers. Like, what does that mean to you? Like, what does being someone that hustle means to you?
Well, I think you just look at, like, Simone sleeping in her studio. I mean, like,
So
it's just
true.
kind of, I think, you're just resilient and you're not overwhelmed by the work. You're just like, yeah, it's a lot of work, but like, I really want it. And you want it more than you don't want it, or more than the pain and annoyance of like whatever. Because no matter whatever job you have, like there are points when it's going to feel like work, or you have a deadline, or you have to travel and be on a plane for a long time, or, but what you love, like I love sitting down with a client and talking to them about like what's going on in their life. Like, Simone loves dancing and making people, helping people dance and like feel good in their body. So it's like we both have, I think, that passion behind it. And I mean, when I first started, it was a 3-year side hustle. Like I was changing from being in scrubs at Cedars-Sinai Hospital and talking to doctors to running across the street to Coffee Bean, putting on jeans and a blazer and sitting down like everything was fine with my nutrition clients, So, and I think a lot of people, when forced with the choice of it's so-and-so's birthday on Saturday, but I've booked people on Saturday because this is what I really want. And like making the sacrifice for the career that you want and the life that you want, it just, there's a lot of those. And, you get your fair share of FOMO and you work late nights, but then eventually everything sort of catches up. And then the hustler in us would probably be like, oh, everything's cruising. We should do something hard.
Got a couple of days off.
Yeah.
We create something new.
Yeah. And I think it's like funny because the minute you have that lull of like, okay, then you ask yourself what's next.
Yeah.
And once you have the idea of something and you put it out in the universe and you say, I'm going to create an app, or I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to open another studio, or I'm going to, whatever you're gonna, it's not going to anymore. It's like when you say it out loud, you're manifesting it. And then you just go into a hustler goes into the mode of action of like, okay, well, what are the steps to make this happen? I got to call an app developer. I got to call my literary agent. I got to, sit down with this client or call this brand or do whatever it is that you're doing to make it happen, instead of just writing it in a journal. And manifesting it takes action. And so don't think about like something as like, because the app took 15 months, it doesn't happen overnight. And so if you think things are going to happen fast, the hustler mentality is to chop it up into little itty bitty steps and then wake up 15 months later and be like, oh my God, we have an app.
Finally.
Instead of feeling the gargantuan whale that you have to eat.
Yeah, being like, okay, we need to do an app that's going to take 15 months. Yeah, I loved what you said, and I completely agree. It's the short decision time. So I feel like a lot of people, successful people like yourselves, don't take a lot of time in your decision making because you trust your gut, you trust your instinct, and you trust you're going to do what you're going to do. So it's like, okay, we want to make an app, and you kind of think about it for maybe a little bit, but you're not going to ask all your friends or, kind of like source a bunch of different opinions and be like, should I make an app? Like do all this stuff. You're like, I'm going to do this, you do it. But then again, too, there's the small actions too. So it's an interesting balance between being patient and understanding that there's so many small actions that make the great success or the end product of what you're doing. But then again, there's like the shortened decision-making time within it.
I think it's the shortened decision-making time really that keeps your momentum. I think the minute someone says like, well, I'm going to source, bids from 10 different app developers. It's like if you have a friend that's done an app and you trust that friend and it's been successful for them and maybe another one, then source 2 bids, feel those people out and realize that just because you've had sunk costs in something, like I think people are always afraid. And I use the example of my husband all the time, who was a lawyer and paid all this money to go to law school and then decided he didn't want to be
has the best Instagram on Instagram. Literally, I went in a rabbit hole the other day and I meant to tell you, I meant to like text you and I was like, this is the greatest Instagram I've ever seen in my whole life. Honestly, the greatest, like, his about the farmer's market with the two farmer couple.
I know.
Too much. Be Bad by Chris's life.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like you look at something where a lot of people will put money into something and then, or they'll make a decision like, he decided not to be a lawyer. Okay, great. Decide not to be a lawyer now. Find something else that you're going to be do and be passionate about, and then put your effort into it. The same, like a little decision for me was like, I had a professional website built for lots of money, and then it wasn't mobily optimized, and I had editors being like, we can't link to your website because it's not mobily optimized. And I was like, F it. I got on Squarespace and built a website in a weekend, and it's not custom or whatever, but like I figured it out. And so you don't let those things that go wrong stop you. You just have to keep moving forward.
Yes, don't operate from fear. I think that's the main thing. Just be fearless, because what have you got to lose?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made a mistake. I learned from that. Move on. I think people sometimes are so frightened to make a mistake that they don't even allow themselves to get there. So
yeah. Well, look at you. Like she said, her hands shaking. She's signing the lease in New York. Like, you know how many people don't sign a lease in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what was the worst thing that was going to happen?
Yeah.
People weren't going to show up at her studio and weren't going to dance. And a couple months of lease money would have gone by and she would have been like, I have to break my lease. You know? But that fear also, like, or the kind of like the fire of like, well, you have this lease to pay, also put some pressure behind you of being like, let's get some girls in the door. I'll sleep at the studio. I don't need to pay someone to clean the toilets.
I got it.
Yeah. Like,
you talked about failures. Like, can you remember a failure that you've had that?
I've got the worst memory.
Same, I do too.
It's really bad. It's the weirdest thing. Like,
it's kind of a weird thing. I think it's like, I know I have this a bad memory too. And I don't know if I'm just so forward focused.
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't think it's a negative thing because like all we are trying to do is be present. And I think that's one good thing. One thing I'm really good at is just living in the present. Like I'm just here right now, even though like tomorrow is like crazy. But yeah, going back to memory. So I've had failures. I can't tell you right off the top of my head now what they are, but I remember going, okay. I think actually, you know, like hiring staff, that was a huge thing. Like I've got like 45 staff now. 44 of them are women and I love them all, but they are so much work. And one of the hardest things of my job is managing the staff and managing their expectations and their needs. And, you know, of course, no one's going to work as hard for you as you because it's your brand, but you're putting your trust in these people and, you know, naturally it's going to happen. You build them up. They get to a place where they want to be a star and then they leave, you know, and then you're left with like, oh, like my babies have gone, you know? So not that they're failures, but they're definitely challenges. And I think a lot of the challenges are just, you know, dealing with staff in general.
I can imagine. They've all got their own things going on. Like each of their own little worlds.
Yeah, they're like, I've got an audition tomorrow. I'm like, but you're supposed to be teaching 2 classes. You know? What are we going to do?
We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from our sponsor, BioClarity. I mean, the power of plants, am I right? Truly, this brand, I still stand by it. I'm still using it every morning and night. They use the power of plants to help you find clear, natural, balanced skin. And I think that's what it is. Like my skin is finally balanced. It's not freaking the hell out all the time. Instead of harsh chemicals that harass the skin into breakout cycles, which I experienced for so long, BioClarity uses the mighty Floralux, as well as salicylic acid to battle the blemishes without the burn. So there's no flaking, no redness, no nothing. I love it so much. And honestly, I'll put the treat, the step 2 of the system, on a little blemish and it's basically gone the next day. Definitely down in redness, not inflamed anymore. I'm truly a believer. It's a nourishing antioxidant powerhouse that reduces the redness, feeds and defends cells with an alphabet of vitamins, boosting your natural beauty. Truly, truly, truly. So I also would definitely recommend getting the Skin Smoothie, which is their hydrating moisturizer. It's beautiful. It's super light. It doesn't clog my pores. I like to put it on. If I'm putting on makeup, I'll put that on before. If I'm not putting on makeup, I'll just put it on. So try this out. Listen, this is the deal of the century. BioClarity.com. You can use our code ALMOST30 and you will get your first month for $9.95. $9.95 plus free shipping. First month for $9.95 plus free shipping. Guarantee you will be satisfied. Let us know, bioclarity.com. Use our code ALMOST30, ALMOST30 for $9.95 for your first month. You won't be sorry.
What's your guys' self-care routines like right now? Like, what are you guys?
I love that.
I know.
For me right now, it's really finding time. I still have to find a time to work out. Like even if it's like, bye, I'm leaving the apartment, I'm walking as fast as I can, listening to a podcast to like move, or doing the app, or like running to a yoga class, or doing whatever it takes to like just move a little bit. Most of it's like short stuff. I really don't have time to like be in classes right now. So it's like the app, or I'm like, I need to go outside and I walk around. And that's like, okay, that's what I'm doing right now. And like really trying to get myself in bed a little bit earlier and be aware of the time. On a regular routine, when I'm not up against a hard deadline, I mean, it is like, I like that morning. I'm like, get up, work out, have my smoothie, write my to-do list, prioritize it. It's not like I send this person an email, send that person an email. It's like, what is the biggest, highest, most priority thing that I want to get done today? And just kind of having that clarity around that and not being reactive, being really proactive when I can.
Damn, that's a good one. What about you, lady?
For me, because I give so much of my energy, like on one-on-ones and in class, I feel really depleted. So by the time I get to Sunday, I have one day off, which is Sunday. By the time I get to Sunday, I'm absolutely ruined. So for me, it's just like silence. Like that's through meditation, that's through sleep. I could sleep forever. I'm a bit of a loner, so I'll see my friends for brunch or whatever, but I just have I call it shush time, and it's just my stillness and my quiet, because I need to replenish my energy. Meditation, yoga, just eating well, simple things like going to the farmer's market and then getting excited about doing meal prep for the week, finding some show on Netflix that you can just put your feet up and just stare at,
God,
so you can be mindless about.
Totally.
That sounds so good right now.
I feel that.
You want to do it now, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
10 more days. 10 more days.
And then after you're gonna be like,
This is the carrot. It's almost there.
I feel the shush time.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to Amy Schumer on Oprah's podcast, and she was saying, like,
how was that?
It was fantastic.
Was it good?
Oh, it was fantastic.
She's cool.
And her movie, the new one, that I Feel Pretty, was so good. So good.
I heard it was
Very
good.
cheeky, but real on so many levels. And she said, Amy said, like, the only place you can find me at a party is in the bathroom, like hiding. And I was like, same. But Oprah was like, oh, I'll join you. Yeah. She was like, that sounds great.
I bet you too, it's just like the energy thing. I can imagine that's with teaching. I mean, when we do events or something like that, I am like, it's almost like sometimes I just get really low. Like I am on such a high, I want to I'm worrying about everyone, you do so many events too. I'm worried about their happiness and, how they're feeling, that it's almost so much that I get home and I kind of feel like I'm working on it, being better at receiving the energy as well. You know what I mean? Because normally I would just like give. And I'm not even saying that like I'm amazing, but I would just give and I wouldn't receive. So now I'm consciously receiving, and that's really helped. But I can imagine, doing those classes.
It's hard because it's physically demanding, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So yeah, you really do. By the end of the day, by 4:00, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Do not talk to me. Like, do not call me.
Yes.
Nothing. I'm just like.
If you didn't have to lead, remember the moves and could just dance, it'd be so different.
Yeah.
What pumps you guys up? Like, what do you guys do to like get ready, like get motivated, like do like You posted something the other day and it was like put on gangster rap and like write it out. And I was like, oh yeah.
No, like I'm such a conundrum. I'm like a California surfer girl who listens to country music and gangster rap. So people are
all of
like,
the above.
people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you can find me like at Stagecoach or like blasting Jay-Z with like my windows down.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's funny, but I would absolutely say that like music definitely gets me going. A really good workout, like nothing releases endorphins. I mean, you can have like 6 cups of coffee, but like if I get a good workout in and sit down to write an article, I can bang it out in 90 minutes.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I love that.
Yeah, mine would be working out, but I start at 6 a.m. So my obsession at the moment is the jump rope. Like,
Really?
It's just like it can get your heart rate up, so quickly, like in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but then you just like, that feels like a cup of coffee. You're like, yeah, let's go.
Aw. Just one last thing on before we talk about what you guys are excited about this year on the silence thing. In the car now, I don't listen to music or podcasts. And that's been really nice for me. Just because normally I consume so much content just because I'm really obsessed with learning as much as I can. And just sitting in the car with nothing is really nice.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's kind of odd. You're like, should I be doing this?
100%.
I should have some music on. It's
Yeah.
Like, no, just
You're not filling space. Sometimes I always get in the car. I'm like, I need to distract, and I'm not even I'm not even like knowing that I'm doing that. It's so subconscious, and like I started doing that too.
and I'm
So
kind
you
of like
just
talking
need
to
it.
myself. Sometimes I'm like checking in. Okay, what are you ladies excited about this year besides the app? The book. You're going to be done with the book
Oh yeah. So yeah, when does this podcast come out?
probably after you're done with the deadline.
Okay.
So you finished the book.
Yeah. So
Submitted it.
yeah, I'll be like editing it and stuff like that. But yeah, so I have I guess I'll throw that in there. So I'll be editing the book probably for a couple of months after my deadline, and then it'll come out in January. And so I guess if people listen to your podcast, they'll find out first. But I'm pregnant. My first kid. Yeah.
The beautiful Kelly who said, I want to have all my husband's beautiful babies because I love him so much.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I just want to clone myself and do it all right now and then just be like, there.
Yeah, I want to have them all be 5 years old.
Yeah, because I'm like, this takes a long time. So we got pregnant in January and I'm due October 4th.
Yeah.
10-4, affirmative.
Libra baby.
Got a little balanced babe on its way.
Yeah, so balanced.
Not finding out what we're having. So that at the moment is sort of like the topic of conversation. Like, do you think it's a girl today or a boy today? But to be honest with you, I know this is weird. I was like telling my mom, she's like, so how is everything going? And like, how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I don't feel the baby yet. And I'm not totally showing yet, other than like just sort of feeling bloated. And so I'm at this place where I'm like, am I pregnant? I'm just kind of like still in work mode and I feel fine. And so I think like when I'm bigger and when the baby's kicking, then I'll be really in it. I'm not trying not to focus on it. It's just that I have a lot going on. So,
How have you
but
felt physically?
I had a couple weeks where I was like not feeling so great, but there's been some studies on B6. So a B6 deficiency can cause pretty bad nausea. And so when I read that, I talked to my OBGYN and she's like, you can take up to 25 milligrams. And I started taking 25 milligrams of B6 and it went away in 48 hours. So
That's so cool. You do your own research, you bring it in. That's so cool.
Do you think that's like in general, if people are feeling nauseous, that would be the case, or just specifically if you're pregnant?
I think I'm not really sure. I mean, it's a good thing to try. I mean, I can check out some research for you if you feel there are times when you feel nauseous.
No, I have a client that's been saying that she's nauseous in the mornings. And
really?
Yeah, and she's older, so.
Yeah, I mean, B6 is a common deficiency. If she's been having a hard time losing weight, B6 can be something, if someone's deficient in, then we have a hard time losing weight. And most people attribute weight loss to B12. Like Lindora and all those weight loss clinics will inject people with B12 shots, right? Those are like, but B6 is up there too. So you might want to try her with like metabolic synergy before maybe midday. It's like a multivitamin and it has a good amount of B6. And then see how that works. Because I think that would be a good
That's you
try.
told Lindsay to get.
Yeah.
She has that.
Yeah. Because it's cellular energy in the production and it really it just makes sure that you have like minerals like zinc and selenium, and then it gets your B vitamins up there. And B vitamins are synthesized by gut bacteria. So if you have like bad if you're kind of like gut issues too, it can be lower. People always just think everything's coming from your food, and it's like, yes, there's precursors in all of your food, but like you have to assimilate that into your body. So
Really fast, sorry. Can you take too many probiotics?
the only time I have people really like overdosing prebiotics is if they find out they have something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So probiotics, a lot of times there's a lot of die-off with probiotics where they're dying either from hydrochloric acid in your stomach acid, not really making it to your gut bacteria, but like the dead little bugs are food for your bacteria. So it's sort of like you're eating fiber. So unless that you're like in the bathroom all the time, I think,
wish.
I think you'd be okay.
It's so funny. I feel like I had my friend come visit me this weekend, and my friends and I always joke that because we go on trips and stuff, and we're like, oh my God, we never poop. Like, and I'm always do. And I'm like just very explicit. So everyone, I am probably going to be single for a long time. After people hear this. But like, because I'm very efficient with my vitamin intake, and I always take magnesium before bed.
Yeah.
And I take a good amount, and that keeps me like regular. And every time my friends come see me, like visit me, they're like, Chloe, like what's that one thing you gave me? And I always just give them magnesium, and they're like, it worked. And it's so like simple, like things like that, but B6.
Trufala I like too for helping to poop.
Magnesium's my go-to.
We should just have a poop episode.
Yeah. We should. We need to get a
I
poop
think it's a
expert.
trending topic. I really do.
I completely agree.
I think if you Googled it and like looked at how many people were like looking it up, I think it would be pretty high.
What about you, lady?
I guess professionally, still promoting the app and just seeing really where we can go with this, because it's just early days. So for me, the idea of just being able to hit like countries, because one of my philosophies, my missions is that, exercise shouldn't be a privilege, and having this knowledge that we're giving to people shouldn't be a privilege. And so it's a quite, a cheap price what we're offering all of this information. So I want, for the cost of one class, actually less than one class, you can get all of this knowledge and have all of the tools to be, get yourself on the road to your transformation. So I think for me, the dream of trying to just help as many people and reach as many people as we can with this app, and that's the beauty about online content, is that you can do that. I'm looking at a space in London next week. I'm going to London. Yeah. So
you're going to say space in Venice.
No.
She's got to go around the world first before she puts one like 2 miles from her.
Yeah. And then just on a personal level, just spending time with loved ones and family, and just I just love to travel. So I'm actually doing something on Saturday, and I'm going to Dublin to like 6,000 people, like on a stage teaching some exercise. So that just gets me jived. I just love the fact that people, everyone, energy coming together to do something for themselves.
6,000 people.
BBS on crack.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
It'll be cold
with
too.
cute
It's outside.
accents.
So
It's outside?
Dublin, yeah. We'll be outside in the cold.
Yeah, and rainy.
Yeah, probably.
I'm thinking about the
Shoot,
moves
honey.
with like the wind. I'm like, I would definitely get knocked over. Hopefully it's not too windy, but
Well, it's so funny. It's like, will we have a Guinness first or after the workout?
That's great.
That's amazing. Well, anything we could do to help you.
Seriously. Yeah.
I mean, just spread the word about the app. I think, you can actually download it for free.
Perfect.
You can get five 10-minute workouts. So you can get an upper body, lower body, core, HIIT cardio, and dance cardio for free. So that's basically, that adds up to 50 minutes.
So you just get to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you can get a meal plan for free, like a whole day. I think we're working on trying to give like 10 minutes or 15 minutes free of a streamed class, so you can actually see what that's like. But yeah, just download it. It's $20 for the month. It's got so much great information, such great content. It really is like you are basically getting the Hollywood Dream Team in your pocket for $20. So.
Yeah, I think that people need to know that they can take a look at it without having to purchase it, and so that's I think just having people give it a look, like bring it down on your phone, see what the quality is, because I mean I remember when I saw the beta of this thing, it was like, oh my God, Simone is in HD dancing. Like it's not, obviously I like up until now have had people be like, well, I want to work out at home. Do you know any YouTube channels? Do you know any apps? And then like you get into some of the other apps and it's just like a mechanic drawn figure and a countdown clock. And I'm like, that is not motivating at all. Like I need a person, I need people. And you get that one-on-one with Simone in the video portion of the dancing or, you know, the live with, if you like really want to see like a whole class of people dancing and you get excited by group fitness.
And you get your recipes, like food recipes that you
get
love.
Kelly. You get Kelly.
I mean, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and vegan, vegetarian recipes.
Yeah, and you can save and favorite stuff. So you can favorite your favorite workouts, you can favorite your favorite meals, and the way that I built every single recipe is that they're completely interchangeable. All the dinners are interchangeable, all the lunch are interchangeable, all the breakfast, and like it isn't, you know, we're giving people so much variety when it comes to workouts, and we're giving people so much variety when it comes to nutrition. But it is true that people are creatures of habit. So like, if you don't feel intimidated to make the same smoothie every day, or you don't feel intimidated, you took this 55-minute live class and you want to take it every day this week, like do it. Just get it done.
True.
Love that. Well, you ladies are a true dream.
Yay.
So excited for your app.
Thank you.
For both of you. So excited for your little one. So excited that we got to share. It was too much. I am so happy for you and Chris. You guys are just going to be, you're going to be the best mom.
Yeah.
I can't wait for your mom tips.
I'm sure Chris will be like, that kid's not allowed on your Instagram.
Yes.
He likes to hide out. And so I'm sure he'll want
That's always the question with
significant others, babies, all that. I don't know. I'm into the privacy thing.
100%.
That's sort of why I'm like, hey, I'm halfway through this pregnancy and a lot of people don't know.
I love that. Do you?
Yeah.
People are like, you have a boyfriend?
There was-
I'm like, I keep him in hiding.
There is this quote. I'm going to close out with this because this is so good. So Meg Ryan was like at this festival in Austin or something, and I think Busy Phillips was interviewing her. Did you see this?
I follow Busy on Instagram.
So she posted this line that Meg Ryan said, and it was like, the most expensive thing in the world is mystery. And I was like, wow. Because like, I'm just, and that's definitely, I think you have more peace of mind.
Into it.
It's like everybody needs to know everything.
Yeah.
So
I struggle with that. That's a really big struggle for me, is how much to share, how much to not share.
I think it's a problem. It's going to be a problem for all these kids. Like all these kids growing up in the social media world. Like I got Facebook when I was a senior in college. You know, I mean, that's like crazy for some people. I didn't have a wedding hashtag. I got an Instagram like 5 years ago.
That's so sad to even think about. Like that's like dumb. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like that doesn't matter.
Well, that's the thing, is it's like my memories are my memories, and they're in my brain, and they're protected, and they're sacred in a certain way, and no one else's hashtagging of their memory in my memory is tainting that memory, and I think that's pretty cool.
So true.
Keep everything on the DL unless it's the app, and then we're blowing it out.
You can't find that, but everything else is on the app. All right, thank you, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Check the show notes. We will link the app there, and then we will link everything for these wonderful women.
So excited to share.
Come take Body by Simone with us in LA.
Yes,
I go like too.
I go like 3
we go all
times
the
a week.
time.
Holla, going tomorrow.
You are?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, guys, join our secret Facebook group. Thanks for writing reviews. And we will see you on tour coming up in the next couple weeks. So you can check our website for that. And we love you. Bye.
Bye.
How'd you like that little switcheroo in that interview? Did anyone notice that I became Chloe?
Oh my
Chloe
gosh,
became me.
That was a pretty quick switch.
That was rude. So sorry about that, guys. But how about that? Kelly and Simone.
Two lovely ladies.
About time two powerhouses come together and create the ultimate app. If you guys haven't tried the app, you should try it. It's actually really, really good. We've been doing it actually on the road. We are on tour now. So Krista and I are doing it up.
On tour.
Clearing the hotel living room.
I know.
Getting down.
This is not good for my summer bod. This tour. I gotta have this app.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. We love you. Join our secret Facebook group if you haven't already.
Event in July.
Yeah.
With Kelly.
Yeah, July 25th.
at Sage Wellness on Abercrombie. So if you haven't already, go to almost30podcast.com, click on the events tab, and you can get tickets there. We're so excited to see you. So is she. She's so pumped. She's so sweet. She's like, I can't wait to see your listeners. Love her.
All right, guys. See you on the road.
See you on the road, man.
See you on the road.
I'm putting up my horns. Deuces, my horns.
Deuces, y'all. See you next week.
Love ya.
Love ya.
Know what they like. Know what they like. Know what they like.